Would you like to visit the must-sees of Andalusia in 1 week? Well, you are in the right place. Here is for you a guide to prepare your vacations. And if you want to know more to make the most of your visit, you can discover our road trip in Andalusia with 10 movies that retrace our days in more detail and in which you will also find some historical facts that will allow you to better enjoy your future visits. The first days, you can stay in Seville and then rent a car to go to the other cities. During these 7 days, we will visit Seville, Córdoba, Granada, El Torcal de la Antequera, Setenil de las Bodegas, Ronda, Malaga, Miras, and Marbella. We weren't lucky because we had rain the first days. But don't worry, you should be luckier since Andalusia has 315 days of sunshine per year. Let's go for our first visit in Seville. For this first day, we recommend you to visit the Palacio de las Dueñas in the center of Seville. It's a very nice palace that is really worth discovering, and in particular for its beautiful garden. Then go to Las Setas de Sevilla, or the Metropole Parasol, this famous giant mushroom. In the basement, you will find a museum with archaeological remains, and not to be missed, climb on this giant mushroom. It will cost you €5 per person, and it's really worth it because you will enjoy a splendid view of Seville. Then you can go to the Collegiate Church of Salvador, the second largest church in the city after the cathedral. Free entrance. Just behind the church, enjoy a walk in the streets. Then go to the Triana neighborhood, the birthplace of flamenco and the famous blue tiles Azuleros. You can eat in one of the restaurants or in the market. You can then go to the Golden Tower, which houses a maritime museum, and not far from there, the Plaza de Toros, where you can visit the bull ring. For this second day, you can make a tour of Plaza Nueva in the morning and then go to La Avenida de la Constitución, a very beautiful avenue of the city with notably its famous building, La Adriática. Afterwards, you can go to the Cathedral of Seville, where you have to pay an entrance fee. In the Cathedral Square, you will find the statue Fuente de la Farola, the Arzobispal Palace, the Cathedral of course, and its Giralda. Right next to it, you will find the Archivas de Indias, which is the largest repository of colonial archives of America and which also houses the Inquisition Museum. Right next door is the Royal Alcazar, for which we really recommend buying your tickets in advance, as admission is limited to 750 visitors at the same time. You will have buildings and gardens to visit. Count on at least 1 hour and a half for visiting this palace and its gardens. Now, direction Plaza de España. If you are lucky, you will see flamenco dances and the square is really worth discovering. Just next door, you can enjoy a walk in the Maria Luisa Park to relax. And at the end of the day, we recommend you to go to one of the rooftops of Seville to have a drink and admire the view. And finally, you can find a nice little restaurant in one of the little streets behind the cathedral to end your evening with some tapas. For this first day, go to Córdoba, pass through La Plaza de Corredera, rich in history. Continue your day to the relics of the Roman temple. Then head to the convent of San Francisco, a small square discovered by chance and quite charming. Then cross the famous Roman bridge to get to the historic center. On your way, you will see the ruins of the Albolafia mill. Then visit the Alcázar de los Reyes, but be aware that it's closed on Mondays, as are many other places, so be sure to check the visiting hours before planning your trip. Continue your tour of the old city to visit the synagogue, the royal stables, the Arab bath, and the Vaiana Palace. finish your day at the Cathedral Mosque, a must-see in Cordoba. The fourth day will be spent in Granada, and especially the Alhambra, the most visited site in Spain. Start your day at the Cathedral of Granada and the Royal Capi, its adjacent streets and the old green fair of the city. Not far from there is the Plaza Isabella la Católica, with its fountains and the statue of Christopher Columbus and Queen Isabel. Direction the gardens of Generalife, its numerous water points, its orchards lined with orange trees. Go to the Generalife Palace with its famous Paseo de la Acequia and its arcades gallery that will lead you to the Myrtle Court. Leave the palace and take La Escalera del Agua, which was one of the most ambitious achievements of the gardens of Generalife. Head to La Acasaba and La Plaza de Armas, where you will discover the ruins of ancient supposed dwellings. Go up to the Torre de la Vela and admire the view over all Granada. Head to the Nasrid Palace and pass by the Palace of Charles Quint with its circular courtyard. For the Nasrid Palaces, the entrance is not free. Again, remember to book your tickets in advance, because here too, the places are limited and you buy your tickets for a specific time of visit. This is definitely a visit not to be missed. Discover the Comares Palace, the spectacular Lion's Court, Duamas Viewpoint, the Hall of the Two Sisters, the Harem, the Daraxa Gardens, and much more. At the end of the visit, discover El Partal with its gardens and palace. Then, head towards the city and take the direction of St. Nicholas to discover a splendid view of the Alhambra. End your day in the Biber Square to enjoy some tapas. For this fifth day, we propose you 3 different places. To begin, direction El Torcal de la Antequera to enjoy a 45-minute hike in a unique place in the world, since these karst landscapes are usually underwater, but here it is on land. If you are lucky, you will see some animals, including ibexes. After this early morning visit, direction Setenil de las Bodegas, again a must-see in Andalusia. You will discover there houses built in troglodytic cellars dug in the rock and whose overhang on the roof. Be brave, because La Calle de las Cuevas is located at the bottom of the canyon, and for that you will have to go down on foot, but also to go up. Finally, end your day in Ronda. Start your tour with the Bull Ring, which is one of the oldest in Spain. From the Bull Ring, take the Paseo Bas Infante to go to the edge of the cliff to admire the magnificent view. Then you will discover the new bridge, emblem of the city, built over a tram of more than 150 meters. If you still have the energy, you can visit the Palace of Mondragón, the Plaza Duquesa de Parcent, the Museum of the Bandits, La Puerta de Almocabar and the Arab Walls, the Arab Bases, the Palace of King Lear and the Mina, the Plaza del Socorro, the ruins of Asinipo. In short, many things to see this day, and you will adapt your visit to your rhythm. The first place not to be missed in Malaga is the Alcazaba, which was the residence of the Muslim governors and a fortress to protect the city. From the Alcazaba, you can reach the castle of Gibralfaro. From there, you can go to the Roman theatre at the foot of the Alcazaba. Visible from afar, the Cathedral of the Incarnation is one of the Malaga's major tourist attractions and is one of the highest in Andalusia. For museum lovers, you can visit the Picasso Museum, which has more than 200 works of art by the artist, the house where the artist was born, the Pompidou Cultural Center and its famous colorful cube, a museum that is an offshoot of the Paris Center. And if you are more a beach person, you will find what you are looking for in Malaga with the Malagueta Beach, the closest to the city center, next to the port. And if you want to go further away, you will find the beach of La Caleta, the beach of La Misericordia, San Andres and many others. For garden lovers, you will not be left out, since you can visit the botanical garden. It's one of the largest tropical and subtropical gardens in Spain, covering almost 250,000 square meters, where you will find more than 2,000 species of plants and trees. If you like markets, head to the Atarazanas Market, located in beautiful 19th century building. For those who love street art, go to the Soho neighborhood, which has been rehabilitated by a popular movement of street artists. Around Malaga, for thrill seekers, you can go for a hike to El Caminito del Rey with a course that runs over 100 meters high. It was once considered the most dangerous in the world, but it has been completely secured and developed. For those who are afraid of heights, you can go to the caves of Neria, 50 minutes from Malaga. Discovered by chance in 1959, they contain one of the highest and widest columns in the world. Finally, for this last day, a more relaxed day with to begin an unavoidable white village, Mieres. You will find a huge parking lot at the entrance of the city for €1 a day. Once in the town, you will find a small square with the sculpture of a donkey on which you can climb and take pictures. A few meters further, one discover of La Virgen de la Peña carved into the rock by a monk. Also discover the Museum of Casa Molino, an old mill in the village reconstructed identically. Walk through the charming streets of the village with its houses lined with red geraniums. Continue your walk and discover the garden of the wall that has a lookout where you can admire a panoramic view of the Costa del Sol, and if you are lucky, you can even see the African coast. Continue your walk to the Church of the Immaculate Conception and visit the bull ring of Mieres for €5. The bull ring has the particularity of being oval and not round like most other bull rings. Mieres is a beautiful village, good for strolling around the streets. Finally, end your day in Marbella. We parked near the ramparts of the Arab castle, a short walk from the city center. Have a drink on the Plaza de los Naranjos in the shade of the orange trees and discover the historical center El Casco Antiguo. For marina lovers, Puerto Banús is one of the most famous marinas in the world. To visit Marbella, take the urban path, a walk that extends over 5 kilometers and passes through emblematic sites such as la Avenida del Mar, where you will discover statues of Dali, la Plaza de la Constitución or the beach de la Fontanilla. Take a walk in the green lung of the city, the Alameda Park, and don't miss the beautiful Virgen del Rocío fountain. You can also choose to go for a walk next to the sea, since in Marbella it stretches for more than 15 kilometers. Finally, you can end your day in a restaurant on the beach and have dinner almost with your feet in the water. Through this guide, we wanted to offer you an overview of the cultural, historical and gastronomic wealth of this sunny region. Of course, this summary cannot cover all the details and highlights that we experienced. If you want to discover all the stages of our road trip, as well as the anecdotes, the historical details and the discoveries we made along the way, we invite you to watch all the 10 episodes on our channel dedicated to this trip. We hope that our trip will inspire you to discover this beautiful region for yourself. Thanks for liking, comment, and following us, and see you soon for new discoveries.